Hey everybody, Dan here with Pain For You. That was an interesting intro. Hey everybody. Today's topic I want to talk about knowledge is not enough. And I see so many folks, like people will reach out to me for a coaching call or something and they'll tell me, well, I read this, that, and that. They've read like 15 books on TMS. And then inevitably I'll say, okay, so what's your daily practice? Well, I'm not really doing anything, but the books didn't work for me. Okay, go watch my book cures video. And this topic's going to be very similar to that, meaning, reading and gaining knowledge and watching YouTube videos, even my stuff, is not enough. You've got to put it into practice. You've got to start to live this stuff. I've said before, I will say it again. Getting better from TMS or distraction pain or diversion pain syndrome or stress illness is not about something you do once. It's about who you become. We've got to live this stuff. And living that stuff really means accepting deep down that my body's okay. It takes care of itself. The body knows how to heal. Right? So we don't have to fix it or manage it or tweak it. The body is not frail and easily broken. As a matter of fact, it's extremely resilient. So living this, it means accepting that your body's cool. Living this means deciding once and for all that I'm going to be an emotional person. That doesn't mean you cry at the drop of a hat in all sorts of inappropriate places. It just means you give yourself permission to feel what you're actually feeling. Right? If you're feeling pissed off, doesn't make you a bad person, doesn't make you awful or damaged or broken or insane. Just means you're pissed off for some reason, most likely a really valid reason. If you're pissed off for something that's really not a good reason, either number one, you may want to reframe how you allow yourself to get so easily triggered. But number two, if that's the case and you get super mad about the stupidest little things, it's probably because we've got this boiling pot of gunk that we've been repressing for years that's kind of like bubbling up and building pressure, this pressure cooker, and the stupid little thing can cause us to blow up, right? Just decide that you're going to allow yourself to feel your emotions in real time as they occur. Decide that emotions don't mean anything other than you're a normal human being. And look, humans are flawed. Sorry to say it, I'm flawed, you're all flawed. Everybody's flawed. That's what makes us human. That's what makes us endearing and lovable, is that nobody's perfect. And if you're trying to be perfect, you're going to be sorely disappointed, right? We all make mistakes. We all do things we wish we didn't do. Regret. Yeah, regret's good enough, or good just long enough to get the lesson. What did I do that I really don't think I should have done? And what's the lesson from that? Okay, I got that. I won't be making that mistake again. But if you view everything you do as a mistake and so worried about what everybody else thinks of you and, do everything in the world because you believe you should, even though it's infuriating to you, that's not living this TMS world, right? Sometimes living this knowledge that you're gaining is setting some limits or boundaries. I'm not saying telling everybody around you to, go take a hike. But there are some cases where setting some new expectations in a kind and loving way and saying, hey, look, Dad here needs to take a little better care of myself, so I'm going to be spending this time doing this for myself. And while I'm doing that, I would really appreciate it if you guys could step up and perhaps take care of the house, cut the lawn, you name it. Ask for help. You don't have to be the only one in the household doing everything for everybody else and running around infuriated because of it. That is not living this knowledge to get yourself better. And again, everybody's world is different. It's easy for me to say. It's a lot more challenging for you guys to implement, because everybody's got their beliefs about, well, if I do this, my family won't accept me, or this won't happen, or that won't happen. And if I don't do this stuff, nobody will do it. Or in a perfectionistic world, I've got to be the one cleaning the house because I've had them do it before and they don't do it right, right? And so sometimes perfectionism can be infuriating, because even when we ask for help, they don't do it good enough. And so now I've got to do it. And, right? Now all of a sudden you're extra pissed off because not only were they willing to help, but they didn't do it good enough. And, you know, nobody can do it like you can. So we've got all of these expectations and beliefs and things I should do and things that we believe are expected of us, and we create all of these requirements on ourselves, and we overwhelm ourselves with all the stuff we feel that we need to do and we should do, and then we wonder why we're all pissed off inside. So living this knowledge is really just starting to take another close look at your world, how you're interacting with it, how you're interacting with those around us. Do you have healthy boundaries that give you permission to take a breather once in a while? You know, if you want to sit on the couch and watch a movie on a Saturday afternoon, but there's some dishes to be done, well, if there's 4 other people living in the house with you, say, hey guys, I'm really exhausted. Can somebody else take care of that? All right. And I know if they say, no, I don't feel like doing the dishes, Mom, that's your work, and we get all pissed off about it, right? I get it. Things happen. People are not sensitive. But living this work is really choosing what our boundaries and expectations are for ourselves primarily. Like, hey, I'm not going to do that for somebody else because they don't appreciate it. And, you know, I'm going to gently and kindly and with love ask for their assistance. And if they don't assist, I'm going to kindly, gently, and lovingly ask again. And then I'm going to kindly and gently and lovingly towards myself go take an afternoon on Saturday and go do something for myself. Go to the spa, go to the beach, go to the park, walk around in nature, do whatever you want. Self-care is hugely important. Hugely important. So living this stuff is being aware of your thoughts. Living with this stuff is being aware of what is it that you actually believe. Not just about your physical symptoms, which we know are benign and, you know, just there to distract us from this emotional stuff I've been talking about. What else do you believe about yourself and your place in the world? Do you believe that you're worthy and deserving of love and caring and respect? Or do you believe you're a piece of crap, right? Many of us were brought up that way, that we were kind of felt worthless or abandoned or, you know, picked on or abused or whatever. And we've got all these beliefs that are admittedly challenging to kind of crack open and break. But, you know, awareness is the first step. What are my daily thoughts? What are my beliefs about everything, right? What are my beliefs about my emotions? That was that assignment I just posted yesterday with the kind of the spreadsheet, the 3 columns. Emotions, belief about myself, new belief or new meaning about myself if I feel emotions, right? Evaluating and understanding where you're coming from is what it really will take to start to make some shifts. And I'm not saying you have to change who you are. No, not at all. But wouldn't it be nice to polish up a few of the rough edges and, you know, unplug some of those triggers that we so easily get triggered by and really create a version 2.0 of Dan or of you, right? So view this as an opportunity to go back and work out the bugs of how you're interacting with the world and with yourself, frankly. So when I say knowledge is not enough, it's really not. You can read a book, but if you don't start to become aware and start to make some changes, it's going to be really, really hard to get relief and have it stick. You know, some people will get some quick relief. I did this, and within 6 weeks I started getting better. But boy, 6 weeks later I'm still at the same point, or I've gotten worse again, right? And it's because you got some quick results, but you didn't really stick with it, and you didn't make the changes so that you were proactively seeking out and feeling these emotions in real time. And, changing our thoughts and our beliefs and the way we interact with the world. We can sometimes get a quick hit of results, And then we get extra frustrated when the pain comes back or the symptoms come back. And we do the same thing we did the first time, and it doesn't work this time. Trust me, I did that for 12 years after I discovered Sarno. And I would get some results, and then it would go away, and I'd get results, and it would go away, and I'd get more and more frustrated. I must be doing something wrong. What's wrong? This doesn't make any sense. I'm completely Dr. Sarno in his textbook. That's me. I'm written all over the pages. So why can't I get better? I don't get it. I'm thinking psychologically. I'm laying on the floor in muscle spasms, thinking psychologically. What's wrong with my life? What's wrong with me? Right? All this stuff. No results, no results, no results. I had to become a different version of myself. I'm still me, still the same guy. My family doesn't look at me and say, you're different. You've become an asshole. Excuse the language for anybody offended by that. You don't have to become a jerk to get better. But sometimes you may have to just say, hey guys, enough. Mom or dad or I need a break. I need something different. One of the books, I forget where it was, is, this is really, TMS is really a matter of a whole bunch of unfulfilled needs. And if we sit around waiting for other people to fulfill those needs for us, we could potentially be sitting around a really long time. So it's important for us to start to recognize how we can fulfill our own needs, right? So maybe here's an exercise. You don't have to write it down below, but grab a sheet of paper and say, in a perfect world, what needs do I have? Left-hand side. And then on the right-hand side, are those needs being fulfilled? And if so, by who? And if they are not being fulfilled, third column, how can I begin to fulfill those needs for myself? Because again, if we put our healing on somebody else and we're waiting for somebody else to do this for us, or to create the environment where they start treating us better so we don't get as triggered, we're going to be waiting a long time, because we cannot change others. We can only change ourselves in our interaction with others. And look, sometimes when you lead by example and just decide to not be quite as angry or triggered or whatever it may be, allow yourself to feel the emotions, but that doesn't mean push them away. It just means literally making a change and saying, yeah, I used to get so easily upset by all this stuff, and I'm letting that go. So, is there a version 2.0 of you? And look, if you've gone through a lot of changes in your life, maybe this is version 10.0. Whatever it is. It's still you, though. And I'm still me, and I'm still learning and growing. And trust me, I get so many comments from you folks that really has me thinking deeply about a lot of stuff, about me, the message I'm trying to share. Look, I'm not perfect. I don't know everything. I haven't experienced everything that you've experienced. But I've got enough experience with it that I believe these general overall concepts are helpful. And so far the feedback's been fairly positive. With only a couple of cases where people are like, hey, you may want to think about that. And they're right. And so I'm learning from all of you as well, which I love. This is great. It's a two-way street here. So I'm not perfect. I don't have all the answers. I'm doing my best to try to point you in the right direction. And, if I'm missing the mark, send me a message. Let me know. As you see here, I'm acknowledging it, bringing it out in public that, hey, sometimes I miss things. So in any event, knowledge is not enough. Start living this stuff. Start to make this who you become, not something you do in the hopes that you'll get rid of the symptoms so you can stop doing it because feeling those emotions was uncomfortable. Damn it. It's hard to change. No, it's not. Change can happen in an instant when you've had enough. When you've really had enough of whatever's been going on. You can change in an instant. Sometimes it seems like change takes forever because it takes years to come to that point where we have had enough and make that decision. So guess what? If you've had enough and you can make a decision to say, all right, this is something I'm no longer going to tolerate of myself or others around me, change is possible very quickly. right? So knowledge is not enough if all you're doing is reading the books, not really looking at how can you become a different version of yourself, changing your thoughts, changing your beliefs, and changing your behaviors, changing your interaction with your emotions. If all you're doing is learning and not doing any of that stuff, you're not living it. And if you're wondering why you're not getting results, maybe you can kind of ponder to yourself, well, how can I live this stuff that I'm learning a little more thoroughly, a little more completely? And so, knowledge is great. It's imperative. Reading Dr. Sarno's words is fantastic, right? That's the foundation of it all. And he had a way with words that was great. And, hopefully some of the other experts are adding, some thoughts to his original work. But knowledge again is not enough. We got to kind of integrate this into who we are. So I hope this makes sense. Let me know below, comment below, if you feel that you've completely integrated all this stuff and yet you're still in pain. And if you are, it's possible you're still making mistakes of monitoring, managing, and measuring your symptoms all day long and freaking out about them, right? So there's a number of things that have to come together here. And losing the fear over the pain or the other symptoms is one of the key points that really is required. So do the work, soothe yourself, and then spend the rest of the day looking to create the life you want, the connections you want, what kind of, what kind of purpose do you want moving forward? Because certainly it is not our purpose to live these pain and symptom-riddled lives. So we have a different purpose, a better purpose, a purpose to be meaningful to other people, whether that just be our immediate family or something bigger. Doesn't really matter, but find something that brings you joy or gives you meaning, so that when you lay down at the end of the night, you say, yeah, I really made a difference with my kid or my grandkid or my aunt or my uncle or my grandma or whomever, right? These things can give us meaning, and they're wonderful. And spend more time focusing about that stuff, like how can I contribute to this world, as opposed to, poor me, my back is killing me, or my symptoms are really flaring, and oh my God, my life's over and I can't go on anymore. Knowledge is great, right? And I'm giving you my knowledge transferred. It's not perfect, but I'm giving you the things that I've learned along the way, and hopefully it's helpful. But you got to integrate it into your life. So hopefully you can become a version 2.0 of you, or 10.0 of you if you've already undergone a lot of change. And I just saw something I had posted years ago on Facebook. It said, if change is good, then I have an awful lot of goodness coming my way. And that was literally right after my divorce and, selling a house and figuring out a move, and, just the whole, everything in my life was changing at that time. So look, change can be good. Depends on your perspective. And changing yourself doesn't have to be as challenging or as difficult as you think. And just make a decision. Who do you want to be? And how are you going to make that happen? Spend some time on that. Less time worried about the darn symptoms or pain. Spend time focusing on who you want to be and how you want to navigate your way through life. Right? So anyway, I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. And hopefully you found this helpful. And regardless, comment below. Let me know your thoughts. And if you have a future topic that you want me to cover, either comment below. I read all of the comments. Or send me a message to questions@painforyou.com. So we'll talk soon. Thanks.